Ladies and gentlemen, Legend in My Spare Time podcast.
Legend in My Spare Time.
Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to the Spare Time Legends Podcast Network. Listen good.
Legend in My Spare Time contains themes and subjects that may not be suitable for everyone listening. If you're easily offended, we suggest you get your podcast on elsewhere.
Motherfucker! Legend in My Spare Time.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and listeners all around the world to a special edition of your favorite podcaster's favorite podcast. That's right, your boy Leesy's back with another edition of Legend in My Spare Time, baby. Still maintaining I had the baby before the new day. I'll fight all three of them, except for Big E. That man is huge. All right, so this week we got a special guest. Through the wonders of technology and through the wonders of lockdown and quarantine, I suppose, because everyone's sitting around bored sometimes. So we got from one of my favorite podcasts. Now, when I used to see these guys show up in my feed, I used to jump and listen to them first. Please welcome, all the way from Cali, it's your boy Vic, a.k.a. Kodak Brown, one half of the Buffet Boys podcast. Welcome, my friend, my brother, and thanks for coming back to the show.
Thank you very much. Absolutely, man. I just like just like you said, like we've been on a little hiatus right now, but your podcast is one of the ones I listen to as soon as it pops up as well, and you know, it definitely brings some entertainment to my world over here.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate that. And I think anybody that does anything like that, we hope we can just bring an hour or two of comfort or joy to somebody, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
We'd all prefer to have 1 million hits and $1 million in the bank a month. But even if just a couple of people say, I really enjoyed that show, it still means a lot, man. So, and maybe you and I can now do that for some people. We can give them some escapism and some entertainment, you know, while we chat here and shoot the shit for an hour.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, for listeners who don't know, sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, one of the things I always found was super interesting is when you go through the analytics and you kind of see what parts of the world you actually land in, and I don't know what the most unusual one for you was, but we had a listener that would listen from Zambia every week.
Damn.
Every week, you just see the same. Well, I don't know if it was the same person. I assume it was because it was one person in Zambia every week. You know? Yeah,
it's wild. I don't remember where it was, but we did have one where we kept thinking it was your same as you. Just one. And we kept asking on the show, we kept being like, yo, if you're the one listening from, it wasn't Russia, but let's say it was Russia, please email us. We'll give you a prize. We just want to know who you are. You crazy solo one person. Never got in touch, but I do love that. And I also, I'm at the point where I don't even remember how I heard about the Buffet Boys now. I'm glad that I did.
You know what? I do remember. I recall how it actually happened. When we started, we used to use the Podbean hashtag.
Right.
And I believe you were using it at that point, and you must have found us through that hashtag.
Right.
Because it was like almost immediately, I think you sent us like a tweet or some kind of message. And we've been in correspondence ever since.
Yeah, man, that's the beautiful thing about podcasting. You're absolutely right. It was definitely one of those Podbean things, which is cool. That's what I like about the whole community. You can hit these hashtags and you can find there are literally millions of podcasts. So you can find stuff you dig, stuff you don't. But yeah, it's a really cool community, especially then when, like a couple of years later, you can still correspond with somebody and chat back and forth. And I think that's the real fun of it, modern day pen pals and shit, Now, for listeners who don't know, they know where I am. I'm in South Wales. You're in California, as we both just said. Both fellow podcasters and fellow gentlemen, if I may say. So our conversation today was just going to be a nice catch-up and a chat. But coming up in a bit, you've also got a dope game you came up with for us, which I'm really looking forward to. The only hint I'll give is that it features Cameo, the app.
Yes.
Which is wild because especially right now during lockdown periods, you know what I mean? Cameo, for those who don't know, is a website where you can essentially hire a celeb to send you a video greeting. Basically, So there you have it. We'll do that in just a little while. Now, for everyone listening and for me myself, life has completely changed. Is it the same for you there? Like, is your whole world completely different? I know you've mentioned you're going out every day still, or when you work.
Yeah, so I did quarantine for about 6 weeks. I tried my best to, stay my ass at home. But like I said earlier, I'm not a millionaire. I'm nothing close to it. So, when the bank account hits critical levels, you have to kind of go back out and, fight the good fight.
Yeah. And it's rough, man. It's you feel like society shouldn't have to be that way in the world, but I mean, this is the world that we've all built and we live in, and kind of how it works. Once the money runs out, health be damned, you got to go back to work, I guess, which is gross. I mean, I don't, because my motherfucker of a company just decided to fire everybody instead of getting all mixed up in that having to look after people thing. But it's wild, man. It's a unique time. It's a scary time. And I think you just kind of have to escape where you can. Luckily, my wife still works, so she still works upstairs right now while I'm talking crap with you. She's upstairs actually earning.
Nice.
I've been spending a lot of time recording music and playing different parts for music and stuff. Because at the beginning, I tried to do like the just sit around and watch TV thing. But it was almost like I knew my brain knew I was trying to distract myself. You know what I mean? So I was having trouble focusing, just sitting around all day watching TV. So now I'm mixing songs. I'm sending files back and forth, which is incredible. Again, because everybody be locked down. So people are around. They can't give you that, like, I'm busy this week, I can't record the keyboard parts, because you can be like, motherfucker, I know you ain't busy this week, and I know you're not allowed to leave the house. So
exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, longtime listeners of this show are going to roll their eyes at me, because when we started this podcast in 2009, I was already talking about the Matt Lee's band album, Two Sides to Every Hero. And even back then I was like, yo, it's almost finished, everybody. Stay tuned. It's coming. It's coming. Well, it's April 24th, 2020. And I'm here to let you know that it's coming. It's on its way. It's almost here. So it's been 10 years in the making. But 6 of the songs are already completely finished. And we got 3 more to go. Rather than push for a 10th for a nice even number, we're just going with the songs we've worked on, the ones we really like. And those are going to be finished soon. We're shooting for a release on it. And I was going to shoot an idea by you, get your opinion on this. Because the production-wise, the recording and everything, there's no cost to that. Because I paid for production time many years ago with my boys, and we're now just kind of doing all the last steps. Now, what isn't free is the publication part. Getting the show, getting the songs posted so that you can get them on Spotify and iTunes. And then, of course, having physical CDs made. So my first question to you is, do you see in this 2020 era any point in making physical CDs? What do you think?
Ooh, you see, I'm of the era where I definitely bought CDs. I even remember buying tapes.
Yeah.
But, there's something special about a physical copy of an album. Even if it's a CD, if it's a record, something. A physical copy of an album is special. It's unique. And what I really missed about, this new era of digital copies only is the album art.
Yeah.
And that's, you sent me a little preview earlier, I believe yesterday, and it made me a little nostalgic that, you could add more stuff, obviously, but just the artists adding, just different things into their album art, and you don't get that anymore. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
You don't get the lyrics. You have to hope that somebody translates them properly,
Yeah.
On the internet.
Yeah. Which is, it's funny when you look up songs and you see the lyrics and you're like, those aren't the lyrics. But
exactly.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking then is the CD. Yeah. Go ahead.
I would say limited run on the CDs, because everyone doesn't feel the way I do.
Yeah.
But I think you should make some.
Yeah. Because I also think I'm the type, like my wife said to me, if we're at a gig watching a musician play and he's like, yo, I got CDs for $10. If he's good, odds are we're probably going to buy a CD, right? Even just literally like you hear, just to support the musician that you like, you know what I mean? I've had CDs I've bought off indie musicians that are still in the cellophane, you know what I mean? Because I buy the disc off them, I listen to it on Spotify, but you want to do the supportive thing. So I'm definitely thinking a limited run of CDs that way for at gigs. But even like, for like $10, I can stick one in an envelope and send it almost anywhere around the world. You know what I mean? So for somebody who wants that physical copy. So the second part of my question for that was then, seeing as everyone's in lockdown and your boy Leesy got his ass fired, here's my next idea is I'm looking at doing a Kickstarter for the production costs, the final production costs of the album. Now, I've seen Kickstarters asking for like thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm talking like $500 at most is going to be my Kickstarter. I think it's doable. I think if people donate X amount, they get the CD first. You know what I mean? I think something like that might be something people may get down to as well. What do you think?
You know what? I was talking about this earlier with my brother. I actually have a really funny story or interesting story about a musician starting a Kickstarter. But as far as that goes, I think you could reach that goal. Hopefully, you get enough people to drop a few bucks. And I think adding the album as a perk is actually the way to go about it, because then someone really feels like they not only do they contribute to making the album, which usually makes people feel, good about it, as being a part of it, but they also get the final product,
Yeah, definitely. I think, and again, because I'm not going to go in and ask for a stupid amount of money, I think a couple $100 is easy. You know what I mean? And let's be honest, I could round up a couple $100 eventually. You know what I mean? But I thought people may want to get involved as far as a Kickstarter goes. And, depending on how the things work, heck, I can even do a little inlay inside that thanks everybody that donated. Because wildly, the production company I found, I remember back in the day when we were looking at making albums and you were talking like months, legit, this company that I'm working with has a 24-hour turnaround. Because they run 24 hours a day. So obviously, once everything's approved, right? Like the quality of your audio, your artwork, blah, blah, blah. Once all that's in and you say go, it's with a courier 24 hours later. That's unbelievable.
Wow.
But it also means that once I know the money's there, I can finalize the sheet. Special thanks to everybody on Paydirt, and put that inside, have them print it all. And then within a couple of days, I'm shipping CDs. So it's exciting, and I hope it can work out. It's crashed so many times for me that I'm kind of at that point where I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll believe it when the box of CDs shows up at my house because it's been 10 fucking years now. But honestly, I think it'll be amazing, and I just want a CD out there. I want an album finished so nobody can ever tell me I didn't do it.
Yeah, for sure. Just like the story I was talking to my brother about.
Yeah, I wanted to go back to it.
There's this musician, and she's amazing. She's got a crazy good voice. She's kind of she's a part of like a really big system, like a music machine. Right. But she's kind of like on the lower part of the machine. But she started a Kickstarter, and I was all for $10, I get the album, the next album she drops, ahead of time. Wonderful, right? So I dropped the $10 on her, on the album. And next thing I know, we're 6 years later now. And just to let you know, she raised like $36,000. Whoa. And there's nothing to show for it. So it's an interesting thing, man. It's an interesting thing. I'm not too sour about it, but it's just super interesting that this would come up in particular because I literally was talking about that earlier today.
Yeah, the universe is doing weird things like that lately, man. Like, I'm working on a cover the song. The Tom Hanks movie, That Thing You Do.
Yes.
That lead song in there, that super catchy earworm, that's the next lockdown jam that I'm doing. And rather than do it all myself, I kind of reached out because I got musician friends, you know what I mean? So I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to reach out to a couple musicians. Ended up with some dope players on this song. But my point was, I randomly decided to, it was because obviously Adam Schlesinger passed away sadly last week or the week before. Now, he wrote that song, and he's also the bass player for one of my favorite bands, Fountains of Wayne. So I think, and rest in peace, of course, such a tragic loss, as is everyone we're losing to this horrible thing. But that was the kernel for me to like, I love that song. I really want to cover it. How come I never covered it when years ago? So finally start learning it. I tell my buddy JJ in Portland, and I'm like, hey man, this is the next song we're going to do. And he's like, whoa. Just this morning, I mentioned to somebody at work how that song was stuck in my head randomly. So it's just one of those like, sometimes shit like that goes down. And then I send it to my buddy to play guitar. And he says, oh yeah, I told my friend what we were doing. And he said his band are covering it too. So it's just such wild things that happen, man. Weird coincidences and little things, and that's reminding me. Recently I did an interview for Matt Lee's Gets Creative. Spoiler alert, with Andy Kim. Now, Andy Kim was the singer of the Archies, so he wrote Sugar Sugar, which is a super famous song. We were originally supposed to record on a Monday, and there was some sort of power cut in his area, blah, 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 didn't work out. Anyway, we reset the day for Tuesday. So I leave work, I book an hour off. This is when I had a job. Oh, the days. I book an hour off to head home early for this rescheduled date interview with Andy Kim. Get in the car, the taxi to take me home. Driver says, all right, if I put the radio on? I said, yep. He puts it on, and Sugar Sugar was on the radio, hand on heart. And I told Andy Kim himself that story, and he's like, you've inspired me for the rest of the day. That's beautiful. It's just weird things like that, man. So it's a strange old world, I guess. I'm excited. I'm optimistic as much as things are scary and strange right now. But support artists out there, folks. There's lots of people doing live shows and releasing projects, and you should check them out. You should support them and give them some love.
You know what's interesting? I haven't thought of that movie in years, and it has one of my favorite actresses in it. Actresses in it. Wow, I might have to quarantine. Watch that.
It still holds up too.
To the list.
Yeah, man, it holds up still too.
That song is a total earworm too. You're right. It's just one of those that gets in your head, and you'll be humming it and singing it for the rest of the week.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's what Tom Hanks wanted, because the movie's kind of like a story, almost like Beatles-esque, isn't it? It's about like a one-hit wonders band, literally. And he wanted a earworm. He wanted a catchy sing. The O-Neaters, that's right. Looks like O-Neaters.
Yeah.
Such a great, and as my wife pointed out, and you kind of just did right now too, loads of stars in this movie, man. Like Liv Tyler, Charlize Theron. I don't know which one of those is your girl. Yeah. Liv Tyler's your girl.
Liv Tyler. I got to meet her out here once, and she was just like stunning. And she had like no makeup on, and I was working at a Christmas tree lot. This is during December. And she came in to our lot that's in a very prestigious area. It's really close to where a lot of movie stars live. And she came in, and I was like, is that who I think it is? And my buddy's like, yup. And I got to help her check out. And she bought 2 trees, one for her and one for her. I don't know if it was a maid or a housekeeper or somebody, but they were like 2 of the biggest trees in the whole lot. And she was just like really nice. And I just remember that day was awesome. And then I'm trying to remember what this gentleman's name is. He was, did you watch Friends?
Yep.
Phoebe's brother.
Oh, Giovanni Ribisi. Who's also in That Thing You Do.
Which is also, yeah. There you go. He also came in that same day. And for the rest of the whole season, we didn't get anyone else famous.
Damn. Now, he is somebody that is a tremendous actor. Like he's the kind of guy where it took me years to realize that it was him in different things, if you know what I mean. Like, you have those actors where you grow up and you realize, holy crap, that's an act. He is one of those actors that, he does things like Friends. And then he's got great roles. He's in one of my favorite movies as well as that thing you do, Flight of the Phoenix.
I've never seen it.
The Dennis Quaid remake, and he plays a wackadoo in that movie. That's another good one. You should throw that on your list too. Real good. But yeah, I think it's cool when you meet like somebody like that, like a celeb, and they're nice, and it kind of makes your day. And it, with respect, she probably doesn't remember buying a Christmas tree from our boy, right? No. But you remember your experience with her, and I think it's so cool when they can actually take time to be nice, to be kind. And kind of set that up for, you see people like that and you think, I met John Barrowman from Doctor Who in an elevator, in a lift once, Yeah. And he took 2 seconds. He was really nice and friendly. And again, that's a story you still tell today. No way he remembers talking to us in the elevator, but we remember chatting with him for a moment. I also remember meeting Jonathan Frakes, who played Riker in Star Trek Next Gen. Super nice, super friendly. Never forget it. I also met the dude who played Worf, and he was a dick. Also, never forget it.
You know what's funny? I was just about to say that before you mentioned, meeting someone that was a dick. I was going to say, you also remember especially the people that are dicks to you.
Yeah.
The famous people that are dicks to you. I actually have one guy, and I hold a grudge to this day. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but American soccer player Kobe Jones.
Right.
I must have been like 9 or 10 years old, and I went up to him and asked him for an autograph, and he gave me the shoe fingers, like the get out of here. And he was just on a phone call, and he gave me a disgusted crinkled nose, and I was just like, I'm 10, dude. I'm 10.
Yeah.
He could have just not said anything to me and just signed the thing real quick, and I would have never remembered that. You know?
It's one thing if you're a grown man asking someone for an autograph, but if you're a kid, just fucking sign it, man.
Yeah, just sign it real quick. You don't have to do anything else. You just, I would have understood you're on the phone. You can't say anything to me. Just boom. And at that point, he was one of my favorite players, and now he's a dick.
Amen. Yeah.
Forever.
That's right.
Forever.
Fuck that dude. That's right. I hope he sprains his ankle, man. You know what I mean? Nothing serious. I'm not wishing his career over, but I hope he sprains his ankle. You know what I mean? It's not nice.
He's long retired now. This was in what, 95, the year after the World Cup in the US.
Right.
This is 95.
Right.
So I was 10 years old.
Well, then I hope he does sprain his ankle, and I hope he's limping around for the rest of quarantine. That's what you get. That's what you get. Yeah, so it's...
Oh, man.
You all get... I've had times like that. I've had, I've hosted, panels with people who are super friendly.
Yeah.
And I've hosted panels with people that are super not friendly. And I think I've said on this show before, my point is why'd you do this then, man? Why'd you agree to sit up here if you don't want to talk about whatever the subject is that you were in? Why'd you agree to this? But some, to each their own, I suppose. Now you must get this all the time, but it's celeb sightings because you live around there. Is it just become normal to you now? Because I'm in that world.
You know
where
what?
I walked by Cameron Diaz in an airport once, and it was holy shit, does that? Because it takes you a minute, right? So I imagine being there when there's people everywhere, it just kind of might become normal to you. I don't know.
You would think that you would see more celebrities than you actually do.
Yeah.
I grew up in Pasadena, which is just outside of Los Angeles, maybe 10 miles away from actual Los Angeles. But all the celebrities live in Los Feliz, Beverly Hills, and really nice posh places. So I did not. There are some celebs that live in Pasadena, but you don't come across them too often. One of my good buddies, he used to work at a grocery store, and one of his regular customers was Jimi Hendrix's brother.
Damn.
He would come in all the time, and he would talk to him about Do you remember when that really bad Jimi Hendrix movie came out with Andre 3000?
Oh yeah, they buried that movie, didn't they? Wow.
Oh, they did, because they didn't get any of the music rights. And he was talking to him about it, and he's like, "Yeah, they didn't even ask. Didn't even ask the estate if they could use actual music."
Damn.
And that made the movie terrible.
Well, yeah, that's like not even trying then, right? Like, it's one thing if you asked and they said, "Yeah, we want 10 million," and you're like, "Yo, we don't have it," but you didn't even ask.
Exactly.
Shameful. Love some Jimi Hendrix though.
As far as celebrities, I haven't come across too many, but I have been entangled in the world of of soccer out here, with the Galaxy, with the MLS in general, and I've come across so many soccer players. Some amazingly friendly, some not so friendly, but most I gotta say most soccer players are usually down to earth. The wonderful interaction I've had with any player was actually David Beckham. He was by far the coolest guy. He stopped and took pictures with professional players that just wanted to hang out and just take a picture with him. And then he took a picture with me. I think I was 20 at that point. I just wanted to take a picture with him, and he was super cool, man. He was he could have shattered my entire childhood, because I grew up watching Manchester United, growing up, and he actually was super cool, and he lived up to all my expectations.
Yeah, that was the classic era of Manchester United, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That Beckham era, because I was watching back then too. My dad and I ended up being into more localized football later on, but yeah, big Manchester United fans. We were at Man City for the centenary game. I never got to see Beckham play live though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always missed that. But yeah, that was the classic era with Giggsy and all those boys. I remember it used to be that Giggsy was the only Welshman you knew.
Yeah, it was. We were talking about that.
Yeah. And now it's now there's Giggsy,
two.
Me, and Just Johnny, I suppose.
And Just John, three, yeah.
Yeah, now you know three Welsh motherfuckers. Now. Pretty cool. So, all right, look, speaking of celebs and all that thing, we mentioned earlier Cameo, which is a website where you can go and ask these celebs to basically send a video. So if I wanted to send a video to my boy Vic from David Beckham, and he'd get a video, it would be like, "All right, it's David Beckham here, and I'm just saying hi to Vic. All right, happy birthday," or whatever. So
exactly. Based
on that scenario, you came up with a game for us to play.
I did, yes. And I kind of broke it down into two categories.
Mm-hmm.
And we can play it two ways. We could play it if I can give you a price point, and you're going to tell me higher or lower, or you can try to guess the actual amount of of what it costs to get these celebrities. And I'm using air quotes here, celebrities.
Yeah.
To send a message.
All right. Well, I think we should do. Is it Price is Right? That's higher lower thing. I think we should go that way. I think.
Okay, higher or lower. Okay, and let's say you'll win if you get half of them right.
All right. Sounds like fun to me. Now, when we last talked about this, I told you I hadn't checked around Cameo. The only time I've been on it is because recently 2 of my favorite wrestlers got fired from WWE, and I saw they released cameos, and I was like, how much? But that's all I know. I don't know anything else.
Uh-oh. Because one of the categories is wrestling, because I know you're a wrestling fan.
Yeah, but these guys literally within the last 2 days were on there, so it may not. But it's okay. Don't worry. There's no way I'm going to remember those numbers anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, do you want to start with the wrestling category or the music and movies category?
We'll start with music and movies, and we'll finish with wrestling, I think.
Okay. All right. And I also have a tiebreaker down here at the bottom.
All right.
We can move on to. All right. So music, you're very familiar with, I'm sure, many artists. This artist was very popular in the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And it is Sean Paul.
Sean Paul. Okay. Sean Paul.
Sean Paul.
I used to play a lot of Sean Paul on my radio, back in my radio days.
I'm sure you had to.
Yeah.
I'm sure you had to.
When I used to host the
All
Top
right.
11 at 11 on CHCI, we played a lot of that shit. Okay.
All right, so Sean Paul, higher or lower than $140?
$140. Sean Paul, higher or lower? I'm gonna go lower.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. So for Sean Paul to send you a message, you have to pay him $110.
Damn, that's a lot, right? You'd think.
I think so.
That's a lot.
Okay. All right. So the next person, also a legend. I guess you call him a legend. $160 higher or lower for Mr. Flava Flav.
Ooh, now our boy might be hurting because he just got fired, right? So
Correct.
I think,
But what does that mean? Does that mean he needs money, or does that mean he charges more?
right? Like, does that mean he cranks the price to take advantage of the ones he gets, or does he lower it in order to have like a bargain basement thing, you know? Now,
Yeah.
my knowledge of Flavor Flav tells me, and now the first thing I think of is not intelligence. I'm not being rude to our boy. I'm just saying. So I think he's going to overprice himself. He's shot too high, and his price is over the amount.
Wow, you're good at this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. He actually charges, I think, the most that I saw in this entire on the entire site that I picked apart. He charges $300.
Get the fuck out of here for Flavor Flav.
$300 per message. Yeah.
Come on.
No, man. All right. Well, let's keep on going. For Redman, famous for being, Method Man's right-hand man.
Mm-hmm.
From How High
One of my favorite movies.
and other movies.
Judge me if you want. I don't care, ladies and gentlemen. How High is one of my favorite movies.
$50 higher or lower?
Whoa. Well, I'll tell you what. If it's lower, this podcast is going to have an intro from Redman next week. I'll tell you that much. But definitely got to be higher than 50 for Red. That ain't even like, you know what I mean? That ain't even a bag of weed.
Oh man, you're good, man. I try to trip you up here. I try to make it low enough for you to think about it.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I'm gonna order a Redman video right now. Higher than 50 though, for
Yeah,
sure.
his price is $160.
Oh, see, feels like a lot, man.
$160. Yeah. All right, now actor Vinnie Jones, also known as Bulletooth Tony,
Mm-hmm. And also a Welshman, I'll have you know.
and also a Welshman. Oh, I didn't know he was Welsh.
Now you know 4.
That makes 4.
Yeah.
That makes 4. Vinnie Jones, higher or lower? $175.
See, again, I can't go with what I think they're worth. I got to go with what I think they think they're worth. 175 is what you said? 175.
I said 175. Yeah.
See, I'm leaning towards higher because I think he'd ask for more than that. But maybe I'm going higher. He wants more than that money.
Wow, 100% so far.
Yeah.
He charges $210.
Jeez. And like I always like, where did they get the 10 from? Like, did he sit there and go, I don't know, 210? It's very strange.
You know what the funniest part of it is that I actually round up 1 cent. Almost all of these are let's see, 209.99.
It's weird, right?
I rounded them all up 1 cent. Yeah. So
There must be
somebody
like
be suggesting like
yeah, amounts, and then there must be a cut
must-
that somebody else is getting, and that's why we're getting uneven numbers, maybe?
yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
All right, so you completely wiped out the music and movies category. So this wrestling category should be a breeze, right?
That's right. Let's have it.
All right. So we're gonna start with this is just about where I stopped watching wrestling completely. Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy.
Delete.
Do you remember a Mr. Matt Hardy?
Of course I do. Of course I do. He's still active today. And he must be deleted.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so $220, higher or lower?
Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy. I'm going. Ooh. See, I like this game because you have to think it through, right? Like I'm thinking, what would he charge for an autograph and a picture if I saw him at a Comic-Con? You know what I mean? And he wouldn't charge no $250. That's like William Shatner money. But this isn't a Comic-Con. This is a personalized video. So Matt Hardy.
Yep.
He's got his brother to look after. We all know that. Matt Hardy. Don't screw me on this, Matt Hardy. Higher.
You actually got that wrong.
Oh,
the first one you got wrong.
I knew he was lower. I knew it. Oh, damn it.
He charges $110.
110. That's damn. See, I knew as soon as the words came out of my damn mouth, I knew I was wrong. And my Comic-Con idea was right, wasn't it? I was going with the comparison. Damn it. We almost had 100%.
All right. Well, this is one of my favorites on the whole list. And this is Animal from the Road Warriors.
Ooh, what a rush.
Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
Higher or lower at $150?
Mr. Joe Laurinaitis, former at Legion of Doom, who, as a side note, it is kind of sad when you see these dudes at cons and shit and they still paint their faces, right? Is that just me? I don't know. Makes me feel sad when I see.
I would say so.
Yeah, like you see Demolition. Remember those guys? You see them at like cons and they're like in their 70s and they still paint their faces. I mean, what do I know? Ain't nobody paying money to hang out and get my picture. But okay, so his number was 150, higher or lower?
Correct.
Definitely higher.
You're 0 for 2 in the wrestling category, Mr. Leesy.
Oh, damn. Now,
Mr. Animal from the Road Warriors is only $80.
Oh, that's not so bad. That's not so bad.
That's not so bad, right?
Yeah, I have an autographed figure of his upstairs, which cost me $20 to get signed. Eesh. All right, so 0 for 2 on the wrestling. I would not have predicted that.
I would have thought you would have ran through the wrestling category.
I know, me too.
All right, so this next wrestler was the strongest man in the world. You know who this is?
Mark.
It's Mr. Mark Henry. Higher or lower at $65?
Oh, damn. Please, Mark, please be charging more than that. Please have some respect for yourself. Gotta be. See, now I want to switch it because I've been 0 for 2, so now I want to reverse the answer. But then is that more? Gotta be more than 65. Come on, Mark.
You actually got it right. $75.
Ooh.
Not by much.
Yeah.
I cut it close here.
Yeah.
It was wafer thin here, the margins that I was working with.
Damn, Mark Henry.
He was an Olympian, right? He was a weightlifting Olympian, right?
Yeah, he was legit.
Did he win gold?
Yeah, he was legit strongest man in the world at some point. Yeah, definitely. Olympic gold medalist, I believe.
Well, we're going to go from one Olympic gold medalist to another.
Dun, dun, you suck. Dun, dun, you suck. Dun, dun.
Mr. Kurt Angle himself. Now,
he loves himself too, I think.
Is it higher or lower? Is it higher or lower than $210?
Higher. Definitely higher.
Sorry, Leesy. Much more affordable than you would think. $110 for a Kurt Angle message.
I never liked you, Kurt Angle.
And that's all I got for the wrestling category. I did have a bonus one here. You ended up getting just above 500 here. I have just an extra one here. I don't know if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, or a Rudy fan.
Okay, I think I know where we're going.
One in the same, Mr. Sean Astin.
Ooh, a real
Higher
life
or
Goonie.
lower than $200?
Well, he's a real life Goonie. You got Lord of the Rings, like you said. You got Rudy. You got Stranger Things, of course, recently.
Mm-hmm.
Higher than lower than what was the number you gave me?
200 even.
Come on, Mikey. Higher.
You're right.
Yeah.
He actually charges $300.
See, now, when you look at that number,
that's
that's a lot, but you still think that's almost worthy, isn't it? He's a huge star.
You know, he actually is not too bad in his messages. I was going to actually bring this up. Oh, I think almost all of these are not worth their price at all because they kind of leave sad, boring, uninspired messages.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I hope that your granny gets out of the hospital very soon. I hope she has a happy 95th birthday.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a lot of just boring, like no effort. But I'll tell you who the most interesting one of them all is. Redman leaves the best messages. I suggest you go and just watch because you can watch all the cameos they leave.
Yeah.
On the app, and Redman is just hilarious. $160 well worth it.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that's the part I don't like is that the videos are all there because, you know, if you want him to do like an intro for your podcast or something, I guess it's promotion, but yeah, you know, that's cool. That's cool. I'd love to have a Redman intro. I think that'd be dope because I love me some Redman and Method Man. Who would be your wish list then on the Cameo site that you've seen? Who would you love to get a WhatsApp video from?
Definitely Redman. Definitely. Red and Meth, that Blackout album they came out with is one of my favorite hip hop albums ever. But other than that, honestly, maybe the Road Warrior, Animal from Legion of Doom. Mm-hmm. Just because I remember watching wrestling at that time. You know, that was the golden age of wrestling, and you know, you can't beat it. You know.
Definitely not. Yeah, for sure. I think that those are both good. Joe's, that's a good answer. I don't know. I think definitely Redman now that we're talking about it because I love me some Redman and Method Man. And like I said, How High is legit one of my favorite movies.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you said he's fun, you know, like it'd be nice to have him sort of like cut a promo on you or something. Tell you to wash your stinking ass or something.
He says shit like that. He says shit exactly like that.
Yeah.
He's like, get out of here with your stinking ass. And he's funny.
Yeah.
He's just really funny. Yeah. He's a funny guy. So
and that's how it's got to be.
I would 100%.
Because I've seen a couple, like you said, where it's just like, hey, this is a message from Matt just saying happy birthday. All right, later. You know, recently we were talking about the wrestlers I knew, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, two of my favorite. The Major Bros, they also host a wrestling figure podcast, which is like nerddom 101 for me. It's perfect. They got released, and I saw they set up cameos, so I immediately checked. And what's funny about them, we were talking about amounts, is Broski, Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder, he set his amount at 50. And then I saw Brian Myers, his podcast buddy and former tag team partner, set his at like $47.50 or something, you know, $47.50. And then on their podcast, he said, if anyone's wondering why I did such a weird number, I just wanted to undercut Zach here. So it's funny if you're only looking for one of them, you go, well, he's $3 cheaper. I'll take that guy.
You know, I looked at the site and there was definitely some older wrestlers there. And have you seen the movie Friday as well? Have you seen Friday?
Yeah, I've seen them all. They get progressively worse.
So Debo from Friday, he's doing cameos from like a hospital bed.
Oh damn!
And it's just more of that, like some of this stuff is just really sad and like Like, I don't know if I want a message from Debo from a hospital bed. I want him to get better, but yikes.
Yeah, that'd be uncomfortable. I think though, if I was I don't know, it's hard to say. You always say these like, if people wanted my cameo, I think I'd be lowballing, man. You know what I mean? It's just extra money, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Charge like $50, whatever, so. And that's an alleged bag of green if you're in a country where that sort of thing's allowed. And imagine just random $50 text. That'd be dope. I'd be all right with that. Your PayPal just going diddling, here's $50. Diddling, here's $50. I'd be okay with that. So if anyone wants a video greeting from me, I'll make you a deal.
We don't even got to go to the site.
Nah, just send me a message on Facebook, everybody, and I'll send you your nice little video greeting back. I probably won't even charge you. I'll say your happy birthdays. I'll sing, whatever you need. So as we round up, I wanted to mention this Saturday, because I'm going to put this episode up like right away, which is the cool thing about being locked down. I have lots of time. This Saturday, the 26th, 5th, I'm going to be going live on Facebook Live through a group called the Virtual Tavern. It's like an online community. They do like quiz nights. They do music nights. There's like 30,000 strong members in there. So they're hosting the gig I'm doing Saturday evening, 6 p.m. UK time. So that's exciting. I hope people can check that out. And there's been lots of like musicians doing live streams and stuff. And if you don't mind me mentioning, you're going to do one too, right? You're planning on it?
I'm planning on it. Keep on pushing it back. Just different things keep getting in the way. And I'm going to do one. I'm going to do one before this ends, before this quarantine stuff ends. But it'll be on Facebook, or I was actually playing around with the idea of IG Live, but we'll see.
Yeah, there's so many different options and things you think of. I go with the Facebook one because it just seems to be the better platform, and it's where I have more people watching. You can't do YouTube anymore unless you have like 10,000 subscribers or some shit. That's if you want to use like mobiles. You have to use your laptop or your desktop otherwise. And I don't have a functional. My laptop records, and that's about it. You know what I mean? He ain't trying to do anything else for me.
Oh man,
he ain't trying to run videos for me. Nothing like that. So, but it does the job. But yeah,
we were actually talking about that the other. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. How both of our laptops are pieces of shit.
Yeah, yeah. Like I straight up put it on airplane mode, turn everything else off, just so that the software will run to record the stuff. And that's about it, man. That's about all he's got for me. But, what can you do? It does the job. But, yeah, folks want to check that out. We'd love to have you watch along with us. I'll share links and stuff like that. And hopefully one day soon there'll be a Buffet Boys podcast.
We want to do it. We want to do it so bad, but it's just for many reasons we haven't been able to get back to it. We're on hiatus until further notice. But we'll get back into it eventually, and we'll pop back up in your podcast feed, and we'll be back to our same old knucklehead stuff. So
yeah, because there was a point where I was starting to learn about basketball.
Nice,
just because you guys were chatting about it. But always my favorite pieces were always when you guys were just giving each other shit.
That was our favorite part. Just talking, just talking mess with each other, and it's. I mean, I've known my buddy Eb for 16 years. So, by far somebody I've known for a long time. So, we can do that kind of thing and not take offense and not get our pennies in a bunch.
Yeah. That's one of the things you can't replace is like longtime friends doing a show like that, because you're right. You get that natural like chemistry between each other and the ball busting. You know what I mean? You're not afraid to tell each other to shut the fuck up, and nobody gets their feelings hurt afterwards. It happens.
Exactly.
I wanted to make mention of the one story you've told on the Buffet Boys that makes me laugh real hard, and that was the story about the milk. If you wouldn't mind embellishing and telling my listeners.
The milk drinking? Yeah. Okay. Before social media, before all this, putting your information out there all the time, I was a dumb 18, 19-year-old. And for the heck of it, we did the milk challenge. And that's to drink a gallon of milk before the hour runs out.
Ooh.
And Now, there's two challenges to that. One is your body cannot digest the amount of lactose you're putting into it. And two, the quantity of liquid you're putting in your body is very difficult to handle. But somehow, some way, I managed to keep it down for the entire hour. But really soon after that hour was over, it didn't come out the top. It was rushing out the bottom eventually. I did get to a bathroom, but I think your favorite line was that I ain't been right ever since.
That's right.
And that's 100% true. I haven't enjoyed milk quite the same. It's definitely was a interesting, silly thing that I did as a 18, 19-year-old.
Yeah. You accomplished it. You were like, oh, you can do it.
I did.
You can do the milk challenge. I've done it.
I did it. and I did it while I was playing a game of chess. So, and there's video of this somewhere. It's not online.
Thank goodness.
Somebody has this, a mini DV somewhere. I don't know who has it though. Somebody has it. It might have been erased at this point, but yeah.
It'll be TMZ footage one day when the Buffet Boys podcast blows up. But like you
when
said,
I become president of the United States.
Well, hell, man, you can't be much worse. I don't want to talk politics, but goddamn, pretty much anyone could be president now, right? Anyone.
I mean, that's what it feels like.
It's open to everybody now. So it's terrifying. We used to think it was a joke, and we were like, that ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. He ain't going to say that. He ain't going to keep talking like, oh, goodness gracious. So what a world we're in. You know what I mean? Look after yourself, folks, because nobody else is looking after you. And sometimes people are too dumb to look after you. Goodness gracious. It's one of those things, man. And then they're all doing it. Every country is doing stupid things. So, you know what I mean? It's like every other country's going, hold my beer. Hold my beer. Well,
yeah, no, definitely. Definitely.
Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, listeners, we want you to stay safe, do the right thing, stay home and listen to podcasts. It's the best thing to do. Watch people do live streams, watch movies, behave yourselves, be kind, be decent. And as our buddy Jeff Davies says, if you can't be decent, at least be sanitary. That's another advantage of this whole lockdown thing is the Rev Davies and I have rekindled after many years. We've actually had time to sit down and chat and iron some things out and get back to being able to talk to each other, which is wonderful. It's funny, the only one I'm not talking to during lockdown is my actual co-host who lives 20 minutes up the street, Just Johnny. But that's because we love you, Just Johnny. We're proud of you. He is literally, we're not going to go too deep into it. He doesn't like his personal life spoken about, but he's working in the front lines in the health industry, and he's doing everything he can. He's one of those people that we're hearing about. Clap for these people. He's one of them. He's part of that team. So here at Legend, we're very proud of our boy, Just Johnny. We'll have him back on one day soon. He's out there fighting the good fight so that guys like me and Vic can stay home and watch TV when we're allowed, when we can.
Yes. Also, tip your delivery drivers.
Please.
Don't be an asshole.
That's right.
Just because there's no contact delivery does not mean you're not supposed to tip. Don't be an asshole.
You can do it right in the app. Motherfuckers. Yep. Like our app here allows me to tip first, and I tip first so that the driver knows like I'm on his side. You know what I mean?
Nice.
I'm always tipping. Don't worry, because if people are risking their lives to bring you some damn cheeseburgers or some damn groceries or drop your mail off, you should be nice to them. That's what I'm saying. And that's me saying that, and I'm an asshole. So there you go. Closing thoughts from everybody's favorite buffet boy. Yeah, I said it.
Other than tip your driver, be safe, and wash your hands, wash your ass, wash your mouth, wash everything.
That's right.
Because this stuff is serious, man. Serious business.
That's right.
Be safe out there.
Please do. And if you want to buy either one of us a Cameo, it's Redman we're looking for. We might even be able to. You might even be able to combine both our names into one video. Maybe we might be okay.
There you go.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks again for doing this with me, and thanks to everybody for listening. And we'll see you all on the flip side because Vic and I have another one planned too. Something else we're going to drop for you podcast listeners.
Yeah.
So we'll be in touch with that very soon. All right. Later, everyone. And as we always say, please get the fuck off of my podcast.
Legend in my